And welcome, folks. How we doing out there? It is the second edition of Revenge of the Cis. It's July 20th, 2017, in the year of our Lord. And yeah, it's Mersh here, and along with me is Royce Lopez.
That is correct. I appreciate the pronunciation correctly of that.
Yeah, not many people roll L's.
Not correct.
Yes, in fact, not anybody. Quite frankly.
And you know what? And that, you know what the problem with that is? Even though it's incorrect, I appreciate you trying, and that's what really cultural appropriation is about, right?
Yeah, yeah. Race is just a social construct, and
Yes.
we all know that. And that is our topic today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be discussing a thing that really doesn't even exist technically, transracial people, which is apparently a thing now.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know, you got your Rachel Dolezals from the NAACP, you got your Sean King from Black Lives Matter, you have fake Indian woman Elizabeth Warren, and we wanted to tackle this. This I guess basically this won the votes. So
yeah, we put a poll up, and we asked everybody what the first topic was. We're gonna hit all the other topics on the poll eventually, but
to be fair, it was more of like a North Korean type situation where you only had one option.
Right.
But it won. So, and it also only won with 90% of the vote, which is always weird.
Right.
And before we kick it off, I do want to say this. It has nothing to do with the topic. However, Senator John McCain has been diagnosed with brain cancer, and there's a lot of people being really gross about it right now. I made a joke like 3 weeks ago on the air in the studio about how he needs to get a CAT scan. Because he's like, when we watched the Comey testimony, we were on the air the next day, and I was like, that guy needs to get a fucking MRI or something because he's a wreck. And I said it jokingly, and even I kind of felt a little shitty about it. So I do think John McCain is a shit person as far as politicians go, but I do hope that, you know, they get rid of the little bugger in his brain.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That sucks. I mean, regardless of politics and jokes and all that really sucks.
People are celebrating a brain tumor on Facebook. I'm like, get a fucking grip on yourself.
Yeah, let's fucking calm down. Everybody fucking relax.
So we have been obsessed with all things Rachel Dolezal for like 2 days now.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
She looked, all right, if you look at the young pictures of her, because we've been doing a lot of reading up on her and stuff, and these pictures, like, she's white by white standards. Like, by white people's standards, she's really white. Like, she's pasty, fucking Britishy looking white person who apparently identifies as African American.
Do we want to run just a quick little background video?
Yeah, let's get some breakdown on Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Ann Dolezal was born November 12, 1977 in Montana, according to this birth certificate provided by her parents, Ruth Ann and Lawrence. While no race is listed, this is her mother and father.
We are her birth parents, and we do not understand why she feels it's necessary to misrepresent her ethnicity.
But Rachel now says she started to...
Now, when you look at her birth parents, let's be 100% clear. They're white people. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not even like, well, maybe... I mean, here they are. They are very white people.
Oh, yeah. No, they are absolutely as white as they come. And young Rachel Dolezal, the picture that they brought to the interview of her, like, that girl is so white, she wouldn't even date me.
Yeah.
Like, that girl's way too white for even me.
Right. She's very white. So let's go ahead and keep playing.
Says she started to identify as black around age 5, something her parents dismiss, although they do say she felt a connection with African Americans at an early age. When she was a teenager, her parents adopted 4 black children. Rachel went on to college in Mississippi and then attended grad school at Howard University, a historically black institution, on an art scholarship.
Can I just say something? I grew up in a mixed neighborhood. I have been influenced by black culture. I identify with certain parts of black culture. I had Ready to Die on cassette, dog. I had fucking, I like Me Against the World over, or I'm sorry, Me Against the World over All Eyes on Me. And
hold on.
Nobody makes that pick.
I love All Eyes on Me more than, don't get me wrong.
But I'm saying that I actually appreciate Tupac enough to even like a weird, obscure album by him. But at no point have I ever been like, you know what would look good on me? fucking cornrows and a teardrop tattoo. Like, it's never gonna look good on me.
Well, let's get playing a little bit more. The little recap's almost done.
While she didn't identify herself as black on the application because there wasn't an option to, her parents say they believe the school thought she was.
Because
You
her
know how
portfolio of art was all
they suspected when she applied to Howard University that she might be black. Do you wonder maybe how they came to that conclusion? Or
Maybe because the way she presented herself.
I was thinking maybe because she applied to a fucking black college.
Okay, that might be another.
You know what I
reason.
mean? Like, maybe that's the thing. And I understand, oh, it's not a black college. It is. Morehouse, and there's a couple colleges that are just, and good, that's awesome that there is a place for black people to get an education that's, I mean, those are good schools. Too.
They are.
Like, Howard and Morehouse are not fucking shitty schools. But let's be honest, it's not, if you're a white person with a 3.8 GPA and a soccer player, you don't usually apply at Howard.
That's a very good point. Let's play a little bit more.
African American portraiture. They assumed she was black and only found out she was not after they awarded her a full ride scholarship and she arrived.
Eyes were popping.
Is that her?
Eyes were dropping when she walked in.
Holy shit.
I'll go a little more back if you want to see.
Jesus, look at Becky over here. Holy fuck.
There you go.
That, she looks like that looks like any biker's girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is white.
She's very white in this
Holy
picture.
shit.
There's no denying it.
Yeah, that's if you wanted to cast a white woman, she's straight out of White People Central Casting.
Right. All right, let's play a little more.
Jaws were dropping when she walked in to finalize her registration in person.
Howard honored their scholarship offer, and in 2000, around the time she began studies there, she married this man, Kevin Moore. In this photo, Rachel's parents are on either side of the newlyweds, and in the front row, Rachel's 4 adopted siblings. This, according to her father. In 2002, she sued Howard University for discrimination as a white woman, claiming she lost scholarship money and a job opportunity. A judge and then an appeals court found...
Okay, let me ask you a question. This isn't blackface? If you look at the old picture versus this picture here now.
I will make the argument.
Okay.
It's not as blatant as that Martina Big, which we'll bring her up in a little bit here too. There's a German woman who wanted to become black, and she got like these fucking ridiculous chemical tan things and like giant lips put into her. Like, she's doing blackface. Rachel Dolezal, yeah, it's a variation of blackface. But if you can, I don't even know if there's a way to pull her up and pull up fucking Martina Big, but they're not even comparable. Because one is this, hers is coming from a weird place. Like, Rachel Dolezal, I think, is probably the least flagrant and disgusting offender of the transracial thing. Like, I think that Sean King is a way bigger fucking fraud. Elizabeth Warren's full of shit. This woman is clear, she's full of shit, and she did, actually manage to get tangible benefits from being black.
Right.
But this isn't like as offensive. Like, I feel like her wanting to be black and her obsession with black culture comes from a better place than, let's say, a Martina Big, who's got these giant, fucking Sambo lips that she had artificially made, and she's dark and has the red lips. She just looks ridiculous, and she looks like if Dee Reynolds from It's Always Sunny did a blackface character.
For her claims.
So this isn't as offensive to me.
Let's play a little more.
Ordered to repay court costs in 2005. It's unclear exactly when she started to publicly identify as being black. But in 2010, while teaching the Africana Studies program at Eastern Washington University, she identified as black with an African-American father and a white mother.
Hair is, for black women, much more than just an aesthetic.
She also became a fierce defender of civil rights
Honestly,
and a leader
there's
in the
no
black community
crime in
there.
being white and teaching a class about Africa Bambaataa.
No,
they were awesome.
They were wonderful.
They were really one of the
Great.
seminal electro hip hop artists of the 80s.
In 2014, she was appointed to a commission that provided civilian oversight for the Spokane Police Department. On her application, she identified herself as African American, white, and Native American. In a posting from January...
Okay, this is Okay, now we're when you want to talk about is this or isn't this blackface? We're now treading into blackface territory.
Because
I'm
of
not
the
saying we're
dreads?
there yet, yeah, but it's kind of like being in northern Florida and southern Georgia. Like we're not in Georgia yet, but who can tell the fucking difference?
Right.
Now we're getting into blackface territory because I actually know. Fuck, I wish I could call people out by name, but let's just say that there are a couple people I've worked with in my other line of work in strip clubs that let's say are white women that have grown to have certain preferences and maybe in certain, whatever that look like this, and it's never not hilarious. And if any of you are listening, ladies, I'm sorry. But it's never, like, it's one thing if you're into black dudes. Fine, be into black dudes. It's one thing if you're into black culture. It's one thing if you have a certain swagger to you. When you start getting the African blonde braidings and stuff, like, you're doing a parody of black. Like, it's to me, it's, I don't know. It's borderline offensive.
Right.
It's more offensive than a guy going like, I don't want a black guy dating my daughter. Like, that was honest. That it was like, it is what it is. But, you wouldn't see that guy running around with cornrows being like, yo, 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 dog. Like, yeah, like that's, to me, like wiggers are way more offensive.
Right. Let's play that more.
All right.
January, on the organization's Facebook page, this man is identified as Rachel's father. She was questioned about that just last week.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad.
And that is the moment when Rachel Dolezal's story began to unravel.
Are you African American?
I don't understand the question.
By the way, she had this Westworld moment, like where she's like self-realizing and she started like her programming started glitching. Look at her. She actually looked
Right.
like a robot for half a second where they're like, are you or are you not African American? And she was, I am, identify.
There she is. She's glitching right there.
Yeah, she's totally, her AI is just, it's like two computer OSs fighting each other. She's, I think I identify. Like, you're a white woman. And it's, my question when we wanted to do this show, and this is what we'll pose, we are going to open up the phones here in probably about 30 minutes or so. So anybody listening, it's 954-573-2780. Holy shit, I'm good.
Nailed it.
And like I'm impressed that I know our own phone number. But yeah, so line up your questions and stuff. But what I want to, the overall question that I have is, where does the line get drawn between it being a mental, I don't want to say mental illness, but let's say some confusion or some sort of a identification disorder versus when does it become fraud?
Now I'm going to say this, and that's a good question. When we talk about mental illness, I believe, and what was the other chick that we're going to talk about that you said is worse than her?
Martina Big. She's a white woman from Germany who wanted to become, and she was already like ridiculous looking when she was white. Like she had the big giant, like, attention seeking,
Okay, I'm going to point
triple Z titties and stuff, but now she's black.
I'm going to point something out here. Martina Big, here she is, and she used to be white.
She sounds like a D. Reynolds character too.
Here's her picture.
She looks like a D. Reynolds character.
Yes. Now, here's my point, real quick. When you look at Rachel Dolezal, and then you look at Martina Big, I would say that Rachel Dolezal doesn't have a mental disorder. I believe that she found a way to become the center of attention. I think she found a way to work the system. I think she pulled a little finger, basically. She found a way to work the system, and I think she's a piece of shit who worked the system and used the system to get where she is. Allah, by the way, someone who's similar to her who doesn't have a mental disease but is a piece of shit, like a Sean King, for example, which we're going to talk about in a second.
Sean King, I still will say is he's the fucking public enemy #1 offender. Right. Like, he's the one that if you're going to play a game of gas or pass, he gets gassed.
Now,
I have to say,
now Martina Big, real quick, Martina Big, however, when you look at her, that's a mental disorder. Here's why. The big humongous, nobody has them, fake breasts already.
Which she had before she wanted to be.
Yeah,
black.
that's body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
that's something else.
That's body dysmorphia, and it's also like a lot of narcissism. There's that just addiction to I need this constant validation.
This is her before. This is her now. If you just want to see the difference.
And you know what? That poor girl's parents had a girl at one point in their lives that looked like little 16-year-old Rachel Dolezal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And this is what, and that's why I'm not going to try to be too harsh to some of these people. Well, fuck you, Sean King.
Dude, that's blackface. I mean,
look at that. But that's why I made that point earlier.
You're right.
This is when you were like, is Rachel Dolezal blackface?
No, that's not that bad.
No, that's not as offensive. That is, Rachel Dolezal just looks like every chick I know.
Right.
That really likes black guys and black culture. And that's not I'm not making any kind of assumptions or even suggesting that that's wrong.
Right.
I'm a civic nationalist anyway. I love black girls. But I like black girl. Like I can meet a black girl and be like, she's hot. But culturally, I'm very white. Like I like people who are into things that your normal average young urban culture is not into. You know what I mean? I like more urbane people. And it's just, to me, like I can meet a black girl and be like, wow, this girl's stunning and awesome. I would date her. But that's a cultural thing. My point being is that I wouldn't be like a Rachel Dolezal. Like women, this will probably get me killed later and crucified on the internet, but women have a tendency to gravitate into things that the guys in their lives like.
Right.
I'm trying to say, I know I'm gonna get beat up for this, but it's true. Like I've seen women flip flop on sports teams and political affiliations. It's kind of like whatever guy they're with influences that. So when white women get into black guys, I know a lot of Rachel Dolezals. The only difference is none of them have ever been like, I'm black. So that's why I disagree with you to a certain extent, because I know it is fraud. But I believe she's been in the lie so long she believes the lie. My point being, I've been into black girls before, but I've never been like, I'm so attracted to black culture. I love hip-hop music. And if I like a black girl, it's because I met her and because I like that girl.
As a person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not going to start being like, yo, check out me. Because the kind of black woman that I would be attracted to would be like, the fuck are you doing?
Why are you talking
What's wrong
like
with
that?
you? Stop that.
Exactly. Nobody nobody wants to be patronized. Nobody wants to be talked down to. And again, that's why I make the distinction between, like you said, Rachel Dolezal and Sean King, who I believe are genuinely pieces of shit. However, Martina Big needs to see a fucking doctor. Like that's not normal. Nobody should want to look like a character in fucking Roger Rabbit.
I think, and moving on, because I guess we'll introduce that issue now, too, since we've mentioned him enough times. For those of you that don't know, Sean King is one of the basically seminal people in Black Lives Matter. He was originally born in Kentucky, Franklin County, Kentucky, which is near Louisville. It's by Jefferson County. In a very white town to two very white people, just like Rachel Dolezal.
I have a video if you like. Your little quick Sean King.
Sean King thinks that having a little pencil thin mustache, and a Caesar cut is gonna make him black. This guy I fucking despise. Like he hates Rachel Dolezal and Sean King. Here's why Rachel Dolezal is a little bit mentally ill. I don't think she's Martina Big fucking crazy nuts, but as we all know from dealing with people in our adult lives, there are degrees of varying severity of mental illness. So I feel like Rachel Dolezal is a little fucking kook in the head, whereas Sean King is a complete and utter fraud. And the other reason I don't like Sean King is because he's kind of a race traitor. And I don't mean that in the racist sense of like, oh, you're dating a black or a race traitor. But a race traitor to me is a guy that he literally hates white people. Mm-hmm. His entire soapbox is not built on improving the lives of black people. His entire soapbox is built on fucking white people are the worst.
Right.
And that elevates my hatred for him, because it's like you're fucking white, dude.
Right.
I have less respect for you because you're not even.
Let's go ahead and play a quick little video that CNN did on him.
I have tremendous respect for the work that he's done. But when if you hold yourself up to something that is not what you claim to be, then that's a problem if you're a leader. Now, I'm not saying that he's doing that, but that is what's in question now, and that's why this story is newsworthy. Yeah, here's what he said to me. So I asked him about it because there are all these claims about him, whether he's black, white, biracial, or whether was there a civil a hate crime that happened to him back in 1995. And I said to him last night, I said, what would you like to convey? And he said,
honestly, Shaun White looks like a Wayans character. Like
he does.
Looks
like in White Girls.
Like Sean King's entire life is a fucking like a throwaway straight to DVD Marlon Wayans movie.
Yes, agreed. Here, you want to play a little more?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No, actually, it is a real movie. I just realized he's fucking C. Thomas Howell. He's Soul Man.
Oh my God,
he's
you're
the
right.
movie Soul
He's
Man.
Soul Man.
He got a fucking scholarship pretending to be black.
Go a little bit more.
Number one, this attack isn't about me so much, but about derailing Black Lives Matter and the movement against police brutality.
Don't drag. See, the thing is, like, he's using the Black Lives Matter movement as a shield.
This motherfucker's eyebrows are on fleek, though.
Oh, no,
just say that.
Yeah, they are.
This news guy's.
What's this guy's name? Dan,
I don't know, but he has some fucking killer eyebrows.
Let's play a little more.
And he said, number two, the reports are all lies. I tried hard to debunk them, and others have said, that they are lies as well. And then he said, I will speak soon. And I asked him specifically, I said, you know, are you legally black? Are you legally white? Or are you biracial?
Can you pause that for a second?
Sure.
It has been my experience over the years that whenever you have to try hard to debunk anything, it's because it's fucking true. Like most things that aren't true, it is so easy to debunk them. When you have to even admit in your own language, dude, I've tried so hard to prove I'm black, and nobody will believe me. That's the flip side of that statement. What do you guys want from me? Just please call me black.
Yeah, what do I need to do?
Sorry, I just
I
had
said,
to
are you
bring that up.
black or white? He says, I am biracial. And I said, is that what it is on your birth certificate? He did not answer. So, and that's a tough part because no one can defend you like you can defend yourself. Right, and it's not our role to defend him. I know people are upset saying, why does it matter? Why does it matter?
But I also don't like this news guy. What good work has Shaun King done? He is... he hasn't done any... all he's done is take on the same banner that like Jesse, what's his face, and Al Sharpton and
Jesse Jackson,
Jesse
and Al
Jackson.
Sharpton,
Sorry, all these people that have used the cause of, you know, economic and social inequality to their own advantage. But it's like the old Malcolm X thing. Like all the black leaders are fucking full of shit. And now you legit have fake black guys in your group running your shit, making money off you. You're donating to them. Money's disappearing. It's gross to me. I hate Shaun King so much because he's literally fucking over everybody.
Right.
He's fucking over white people who he's one of, and then he's also turning around and fucking over African American. It's everyone's getting fucked over and hoodwinked by this guy.
Right.
I cannot. I am way angrier about Shaun King than I am Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, I will agree. And I would agree with you. What good work? There's no good work. All right, let's not fucking pretend like he's done any good work.
Instigating police shootings.
Yeah, he's a race baiter.
Hey, congratulations, Shaun King, getting cops killed that aren't even white. He's getting Asian and black cops killed in New York.
He's a race baiter pretending to be black because, I mean, come on. You can look up his pictures. You can see him when he's a kid. The guy's a white guy, period. Like, there's no question.
He's whiter than I am, and I've said that for a long time.
Let's play this.
In the media because people said, you know,
who had to leave her post at the NAACP.
And he did great work.
Also,
for the
can we say, this is white blackface. And this and you know what? This nigga didn't even fucking bother getting a tan or nothing.
That's a good
point.
point.
At least Rachel Dolezal goes to the fucking, you know what I mean? Gets in the booth for an hour, gets the spray at least. This asshole just thinks a Caesar cut and a fucking thin mustache.
We were watching Tropic Thunder.
Fucking Billy D. Williams
We were watching
here.
Tropic Thunder yesterday.
Yes, we were.
And at least Robert Downey Jr. really got into that character.
Yes, but that's also extensive makeup and blackface. But I'm talking about Shaun King didn't even... Come on, man. Go outside once in a while. He's paler than I am.
Oh, I agree. Let's go a little bit.
He looks so funny.
Thousands of dollars, helped a lot of people. Shaun King has done the same thing, And it's a little bit odd to many people because the reaction is different among some, because maybe he's a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, but also women are saying it's sexist because why didn't you not accept Rachel Dolezal, but you're accepting Sean King?
I think this is all.
You know what? Sean King is he's the bizarro Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. It's exactly what he is. He is the bizarro world version of Uncle Ruckus. Oh my God. I've never met a guy who's more insane and just, I really want to, no, I'm not going to say it on the air.
Don't. You really want to debate him.
Yeah, I really want to debate him
as hard as you can.
Strongly.
As hard as you want to grab him
with my fists.
Oh, no. See, that's where you know.
Whatever.
You want to.
It's a joke, folks.
You want to grab him with your words.
This is comedy, folks.
And then strangle him in a debate. All right, let's go.
Also just bubbling up, so we'll see where it goes. I do want to read this to our viewers, though, because this is what his wife, this is what Sean King's wife, Ray, posted on Facebook today. She wrote, regarding his race, he has never lied, not once. His story is beautifully difficult and painful, and I've actually encouraged him to tell it publicly because it's a unique expression of this country's sordid and ridiculous history with race. But it's his story to tell on his own terms when he is ready to tell it out of respect for his mother.
Okay.
There could be so much more
Okay, let me tell you that. Okay,
here.
so this is, from the very beginning, I've known that this is probably the case, but I can't tell his story for him. I can only report the facts. So, and as I said to him, and I won't tell you what his response was, but I sent him a text this morning, and I said,
is CNN going to dox him or something?
I don't know, but you know, I got to give it up for most likable person at CNN right now.
Yeah,
it's literally the only guy I don't hate.
Let's go a little more.
And this is a very honest moment that I didn't practice.
God, it's just so hard to look at Sean King's picture and not laugh.
No, absolutely, you're right.
It's so hard.
It looks
not
like
to
a
laugh
Wayne's
at
Brothers
it.
movie.
It's a fucking joke.
Yes,
it's you.
You know what he looks like? Remember when Dave Chappelle played the white news reporter?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
You got yourself a goddamn deal.
You know, it's sad to say, but I really, truly, in my heart, believe that people are being conditioned, in essence, to just be so used to this level of open fraud and bullshit that it's why we suck now. We fucking blow as a species across the world. Because we fucking indulge shit like this.
Right.
That shouldn't even be like a guy like that should have went to one Black Lives Matter meeting and been laughed the fuck out of the room.
Right.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, we got Jeff on.
All right, cool. We got Jeff Ray, my good friend, and I'm legitimately saying one of the funniest people I know, ever. Jeff's a fucking.
I say that because I was texting him.
Oh, sorry about that. The stupid.
Even the guy from CNN agrees with me.
Yeah, even the dude from CNN agrees.
But yeah, so Jeff, Jeff's a comedian from Tampa who's awesome, and
and I got two dogs.
And he's got two dogs.
And yeah, apparently you're also Bob Levy.
Yeah,
which is great. Is there anywhere where there's not? I didn't know you'd have dogs with you. All right. So you read her book. This is why I wanted to call him.
Rachel Dolezal.
He read Rachel Dolezal's ghost-written autobiography, approved autobiography. So we're trying to figure out, Jeff, if it's mental illness, where the line drawn is between mental illness and fraud. And you know more about Rachel Dolezal than I do.
Well, like most liberals, she was abused as a child and grew up in a teepee. So,
according to her, which was also debunked.
There's pictures in the book, so she's still going with the story.
But how often? But when your parents have been able to debunk 98% of your other bullshit, because everybody loves to be a victim. It's the new cool thing to be. When does? Did we lose him? All right. No, when does?
We got him.
When does she? All right. When they debunk all this other stuff, when do you draw the line and say you probably weren't abused? You fucking borderline personality having maniac.
Well, that would be shaming, and you certainly wouldn't want to shame anybody.
Can't shame
the what society gets better by, telling people to knock it off.
What society gets better by indulging people who are obviously frauds, though?
No. We should be molding society into this secure, safe area as opposed to making the individual stronger. And this starts in education. It really, at the root of it, we've lost God, and we've replaced God with like our own idea of what utopia will be like. And it's the pentagram's been inverted. It's Lucifer.
So
I fucking love Jeff, because Jeff will make a beautiful point, and then at the end he'll just completely fucking.
Yeah.
Jeff makes me happy. This is every conversation I have with Jeff in Tampa. Me and Jeff, by the way, just not to get off topic, but Jeff and I, we've both, you could say, Jeff, we've both come a long way. You probably more than me in terms of our behavior. But let's just say that there was a time when Jeff and I would indulge a lot and go out and party. And the fucking things that would come out of both of our mouths in play. Like, I'm surprised we're allowed anywhere anymore. He and I did share the burden of a ban list throughout Ybor City at different places, where whenever we hung out together and we narrowed it down, we had like two choices.
It always came back to eugenics and social engineering.
It is true though, but you say
it is.
But when you say those words, people are like, "You're fucking crazy. You're fucking tinfoil hat, dude."
I mean, yeah. Nobody wants to be the dude that tells people to stop fucking. You know, nobody. No, it's true. Like, nobody wants to be the guy that says, "Hey, you know what? Fucking cut it out." And I know Mike and I have talked it before. Like, if we can make some sort of program where, hey, listen, you know what? We'll give you a 70-inch 4K HD TV. I don't care if the government funds it. I'm a small government guy, but I'm for this. We'll give you a TV if you come in and get a vasectomy. Like, boom. People that do not care or should even have kids are going to go in there, are going to get their TV. And that I understand that borders on like eugenics, but at some point, we're building something that's not sustainable.
I don't know the proof of that. I believe that there's plenty of space. I mean, there's a whole middle America that nobody goes to, and apparently. We've been wrong on predictions of the planet before. I think the problem is that we are trying to mold the planet, and we're too concerned with the future, not the present, not the moment. And we're trying to alter society to where it accepts anything. Really, Rachel Dolezal and Sean King are just following this ideology all the way through. It's a postmodern ideology, the idea that no construct matters, and
I understand what you're saying, and that they are the product of a pretty messed up system. But when do we just like completely absolve you of all personal responsibility?
Well,
no, we shouldn't. That's the thing. We shouldn't.
Evil Republican in the chat says, grew up in a teepee. Do you want to expand on that? Because I think everybody knows about the grew up on in a teepee thing. She actually said...
We watched an interview earlier today with her parents. Like, we didn't just not read about these people.
The nature of a modern ideology where all interpretations are valid. So her experience with this is her own reality, and the problem is that society has been telling a generation of people that we're supposed to codify this mindset, and we're not. Like, your identity isn't your own. Your identity is a shared experience. That it's a way to interact with human beings.
Yeah, it's sort of narcissism based, but we raised a nation of narcissists by, like he said, basically indulging your fantasy. You know, and it started as kids when it's just like give you candy to shut up. And then as you get older, you're more sophisticated and you can't shut up with just candy. And then candy became fucking Adderall and fucking, and it just became like whatever you need to just go away and shut up. And everybody's like, oh my God, my kid's crying because he didn't get a trophy. Well, just give him a trophy, so shut up. So and then it's just eventually everything is to the point where there's been no work done towards anything. And there's this breach between fantasy and reality now where everybody's just kind of not living in the real world.
We've abolished the value of work too, and the idea that there is a value structure.
But we don't have any shared experience. Like there is not any scenario. There's not a single scenario now in this world that we could all agree on. I'd say 30 years ago, you could at least get everybody to agree on like 3 or 4 inherent truths. You know,
right?
But as it's that gotten song's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Now as we've gotten to 2017. all of us could go outside right now and look up and go, wow, the sky is blue today. And there's going to be one guy that goes, well, actually, somebody wrote a paper that there's a coating in our eyes that makes the UV thing. And you're like, well, just shut the fuck up. Can we all agree that the sky's blue right now?
The flat Earth movement is a great example of that.
That was
yes, because that had to have started out as a joke. That could not have been serious when it started.
That's what I thought too. Like when I heard the flat Earth movement, I go, well, this has to be some sort of fucking joke. This 4chan started this, because that's the first thing I always think. 4chan started this, but then you look into it and you're like, holy shit, maybe it started out as a joke, but real people are believing it.
You look at it and see that even idiots on 4chan kind of believe it.
Yeah.
There are some people where you're like, what? And it's like, I don't even accept that answer of like, well, you know, I just have questions. Well, then just fucking stop. Stop asking them.
Look, don't get me
You're
wrong.
an idiot.
I understand the upside of questioning everything. I do understand that we shouldn't just be complacent. I do get that. But there is a point where people get to that where you're like, oh, the Earth is flat, or oh no, everything's a false flag operation, and it's like, you know, let's.
There are people alive right now that will tell you if you take a boat too far, you're going to fall off of the planet.
No, there's an ice
It's
wall.
not illegal to say that to anybody, but it's illegal in Germany to say the Holocaust never happened. Now, to me, that's weird. It's just a weird thing. Like when we make these, like, why don't we just outlaw flat earthers? If it's that easy.
We certainly shouldn't have had the government come in and regulate critical thinking. That's a dangerous road, because free speech is more than just a right. It's a fundamental element of how we interact.
I
It's
get that, but can't we all just sit down and write a list of like 20 things we all agree on right now?
Here's the thing.
That's it.
Now, here's
It's
the thing.
fucking closed. The book's closed on flat Earth. Go fuck yourself.
Here's the thing. There's no, but like you said earlier with the sky is blue, there's no way you're going to get everyone to agree, not on 20 things, on 5 things, on 3 things. Everything, in my opinion, everything has become so politicized. I mean, like you said, even science that used to be absolute has now become politicized.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, dude, you'll see it in like, if you go on your Facebook feed and you'll see like 5 reasons why chocolate's actually good for you. And you click on it and the first comment's always, yeah, not now that Trump's in office, Trump. And you're like, what? Are you fucking serious? Or it's the other end of like, yeah, Trump's going to make chocolate great again. And you're like, why are you alive? You know, like there's just no reason for any of
and
you
you're right, and it is kind of infiltrating the escapism that we used to have, because even a site
there's
like,
no more comments that go, wow, that's helpful. I didn't know I could melt chocolate like that with milk. Thank you.
You made a joke yesterday, Mersh, when we were watching Game of Thrones, and you were like, you know, I'm really happy that at least in the middle of it, they're not like, yeah, how bad is Trump? And you're like, and I'm like, you're laughing and you're joking
Fucking
about
White
this.
Walkers have red caps on.
I know. And you're like, man, it infiltrates even things that I used to escape. Like, even like, I used to go to crack.com to see stupid lists.
The
like,
Super Bowl game.
Yeah, everything. Everything has become.
And isn't the murdering girl in the show that I don't watch, isn't she like doesn't she assassinate people?
I have no idea.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Yeah. No, I think so.
Sorry, I don't like fantasy.
Well, that's fine.
I'm not shitting on anybody that likes it. It's cool. Fantasy's cool.
Yeah, honestly, gay guys don't like fantasy stuff. They're all too. It's honestly, fantasy is even too kitsch, even for gay people.
It is now. Yes.
They're like, ew, robes and sandals. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yucky.
Put on jeans and a jacket like a normal person.
And a mesh tank top.
Yeah, and I mean,
so can you just there was one fact you pointed out to me about Rachel Dolezal, Jeff, that I wanted you to enlighten our audience about.
Okay.
That she's an artist.
Yes.
She has a very specific. She has a very specific medium.
Yes.
That
she painted pastoral pictures of little black girls on puzzle pieces. Like the representation of autism. Acrylic on puzzle pieces.
Please be patient. I have autism.
Yes. She painted it on puzzle pieces. I don't know if she put the puzzle together before she painted it.
That's like a fucking.
That might even be more impressive if she did it.
If life were a television show, that would be the writers. That would be the writers telling you Rachel Dolezal's autistic.
Yeah. Oh, the writer was cool. I actually, it got me thinking about like what that job must be like. It's like the editor's like, all right, just here, write the Rachel Dolezal thing, or I've got a Tony Danza book, and like there's these writers for hire, and like, that's a cool gig.
So between
Give 'em comp.
mentally ill and complete fraud, where do you? Let's say mentally ill is 10, complete fraud is 1. Where do you think she's at? Because Royce is not pro Rachel Dolezal.
She is simply following this ideology out to its degree, to where it's going to go. Actions dictate belief. Not we're so conflicted. It's very difficult for us to have like an operating ideology. And like with Rachel, I do believe that she's clung to this Marxist ideology and is following it out and acting it out, and the actions are pretty consistent with the ideology. Like, why should we accept transgenderism if we don't accept transracialism, and vice versa, whatever.
Well, that's a very good point, and it goes back to you remember when the whole transgender thing started, there was a lot of people, they were making fun of the hillbillies, like, what's next? You gonna marry a dog? And everyone's like, oh, shut up, you hillbillies, you're so stupid. And now it's like, well, yeah, we're getting to that point, right?
Yeah.
No, it's already happening.
Yeah,
There's people that are marrying it. There's some fucking lady married at a train station.
That's right. That's a good point.
There are people that now, and actually, what's worse, I would actually when people used to say, oh, what's going to be next? People are going to marry dogs, and you thought, wow, that's the worst this could get. But no, it's actually gotten worse.
Yeah,
because there are now people that do ceremonies where people marry themselves.
Yes.
Now that is the ultimate end all, as Jeff just said, cultural Marxist. Like we're going to make sure
Complete
you don't breed, you don't propagate. You're just you're going to die. You're a dead end genetically.
Yeah, back in
that's where nihilism goes.
It's really fucking very black pilly. It's very gross.
Back in
you need a god.
Even I'm like going back towards theology now.
Right. You need an ideal.
When I talk about women like now, it's way different than when I talked about women fucking 6-7 years ago. It's bizarre the way I've shifted.
Well, I'll say the same thing. And again, to me, my issue is that this is what happens when, and again, I am not a religious person in any way, shape, or form, but when evangelical atheism is let to run wild, this is what happens. It's this do whatever you want. It doesn't matter, and anyone who's Christian's a stupid fucking idiot, and they're all idiots.
Anybody that tells me and Royce or Jeff or anybody else that we're going to hell without knowing anything about us, just know this. Anybody out there that owns any kind of T-shirt that references their atheism, you're just as big of a piece of shit.
You're just as bad.
It's ideology, yes.
But it's, but it's not ideology. It's also this, I get it. I believe in this thing. There's plenty of people that have that. But that extra level of ideology, we have to go like, look at me, bro. You're stupid. Because
So, of course, and they're always on the righteous side, and everyone else is you're always the oppressed, and it's never the oppressor. Whereas, put yourself in any other situation, by this metric, now you're the oppressor. So it's everyone. Science, you need to at least have some sort of grounding of philosophy or a morality or an ideal, whether that's God or whether that's making a better version of yourself. You need that ideal to ground you. Even like when you go into the sciences, if you only look at things materially, you won't even know what you're looking for. So the idea of throwing away all of history just because we see the world in a material fashion, it's foolish. And that's why the religions are right, including Islam, about being suspicious of rationality to its nth degree, because rationality is what gives you a road to the what we got now. I
will say this:
turning kids' fucking genitals inside out and all that shit, and just like that's going to be the new thing, because
we did
we're
that
just
last week.
Throwing biology right out.
We're coming back around on that one at some point.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'll say this: I agree with you, and it's made me reevaluate a lot of the same things too. Like, being grounded in something besides rationality is something that I've struggled with. And I went to Christian school my entire life. Since I was 5 years old.
I only did 4 years.
And of course, when I grew out of that and I went to I resented it when I left. I go, this is fucking ridiculous. You're all fucking hypocrites and all that. And at the end of the day, you realize people are fallible. And I'm not even saying Christianity, but like you said, it's people are there's that God-sized hole that people are
I like to say people got a God-sized hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
in
do
their
like to get
hearts.
those holes filled.
Yeah, and they and they don't, and they fill it with this because this has become a religion.
It's true. Nature abhors a
But
vacuum.
I understand that it's very childlike that we call it a God-sized
Yeah.
hole. But scientifically, someday they will identify this cause or this need, this drive for us, like
Right.
to have opposable thumbs and go to the moon. Like there is this intangible thing,
Allegedly.
and it sounds corny when you say God-sized hole. But
Yeah.
I'm sure when we were caveman, we called the sun shiny ball thing in the sky. Like eventually, you come up with a better name for it, and I'm sure we will. But there is a thing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, but there is a thing there
A
that
drive.
people are
You're right, a drive.
or just or an emptiness. If you get into, like, I talk about some of the things in my other job, even with Jeff, and with other people, where we talk about some of the LGBT, the transgender nights they do, and we're not talking about it from a place of derision, but we'll discuss how it's really empty life, and it's a really, you know what I mean? It's really weird when you have this, like, you're just out chasing chicks with dicks and you got a family and all. There's a lot of like, as much as you want to make fun of all these hokey Christians, there is a lot of darkness lurking around in that area, and your inability to see any of that stuff or any hypocrisy because you're so politically aligned is just
Right.
bugs me.
Yeah, and I would say that the hypocrisy to me is the thing that makes me probably the most upset. And I try for it not to, but that to me is the thing that gets to me the most, because I remember when I was a kid, for example, and I think all of us were about the same age range, when we were a kid, and all I could remember was all the conservative TV Christian groups were all like, you shouldn't watch this on TV. It's because of this. And you shouldn't let your kids listen to Wu-Tang. And, and they were like oh, come on, you shouldn't. But now the tide has turned, and the people that are censoring everything, that are telling you what to listen to, what's appropriation, the people who are actively segregating the races are the people that are godless. Are the people that have no real moral center.
It is Marxism as much
And
as
it's fun to watch, though.
Yeah,
Royce
I
is
agree.
very right there, because I do remember when it was the Christian culture war, and it was everything you listen to is terrible, and you need an element of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's flipped now, and it's very funny. It's this militant anti-theism, and I'm just saying, life is tough, and life is suffering. It is.
Yes.
And you need something that can orient your view and give you something to look towards.
Yeah, but I think the great Western philosopher Dalton once said, "Pain don't hurt."
That's right. That was in the book of Roadhouse.
Yes.
Chapter 1, verse 2.
That's
I
brilliant.
like it. It's very, very, very deep. No, but I think you're right, and I think the problem is that the universities and the professors have become the new evangelical preachers of this.
But I want to point out,
movement.
Jeff isn't entirely right here. Only in that this is not a new phenomenon. This is just Rachel Dolezal, Sean King, all these other weirdos. Elizabeth Warren, who's a fraud. She's not even mentally ill. That's just fraud. That's just blatant.
Well,
Blatant
where do you
financial
disagree
fraud.
with me?
It's not a new phenomenon. There are there were frauds and mentally ill, crazy people doing this as early as the 1800s.
Certainly. So yes, human beings are, there's nothing new under the sun.
But do you think the people in, all right, there's a guy, for those of you who want to look it up, his name is Archibald Bellany, and he went by the name Gray Owl, and he was the turn of the 19th century, or the 20th century rather. And he just came to America, got a tan, and because he looked he could pull off the look, and he became a fake Indian guy. Just went around and, you know what I mean? Basically conned people and did the whole,
Wait, he was a white guy?
Ooh, me a mystic.
Wow, he really looks Indian. He did a really good job.
Yeah, but he was born in Hastings, England, in 1888.
Archibald Bellany. Just look Gray Owl. It'll come up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, he's so it's not but I don't think it was as. That's where I was kind of getting confused on this topic, where it's where does the mental illness and the fraud, because we've blurred the line so much in this country where we're all so mentally ill and so full of shit.
Well,
these guys aren't even standout anymore.
To your point about it being new, it's the past, it gives us a structure that we can work with. So yeah, the principles of Christianity or whatever it is, that's your past structure. And the future chaos is what can happen in the future is this dark road that can lead to the point where you mutilate your body. And that's a dark road, but that's chaos and it hasn't come yet. So I mean that way in the future. But certainly these problems have been going on throughout time. But my issue is that we're throwing out all of the old structure without giving it any respect. It's just like, well, there's no way Noah put two of every animal in there, so it's got to be bullshit. It's like, maybe if we, saved some stuff for a rainy day, that might not be a bad lesson. And you need some kind of guidance. It's both are right. There really is. That's what's fascinating about it. It's both are right, but it's what is going to work best in the way that you interact with other people. That's going to.
Well, I agree with you, and I agree with the both that's right aspect, and I think as we've seen, the extremes of anything is an issue.
Well, the problem is too is they try to do it too quickly.
That's a good
the
point.
Nazis did this with the Nazis basically ruined the idea of nationalism, where nationalism's not even nationalism, globalism, liberalism, conservatism. It's all good. Like in these doses of it, but whenever one side just fucking runs wild, that's one thing I have faith in humanity is that it does seem that whenever these things happen, like even now when you see the conservative movement growing, it's because liberals just face fucked us for 8 years and shoved so many narratives down our throat, and they tried too fast. And I think their greed was that was kind of their undoing. Like, and you're seeing, I think there's some kind of mechanism in us socially, or just maybe it's just a subconscious thing, but we do tend to balance shit out naturally. Like I still have faith on everybody because I just feel like
when you say
that's a fundamental human struggle. Yeah.
When you say they try too fast, who do you mean? Like,
jeez.
Well,
I'm joking.
There's a loose knit group of rootless people, in the elites that do stuff like that. That's all. Just a group of people. I don't think they really have much in common other than that.
Don't you see? It sounds like
no, not at all.
No,
we're fine. We're good.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want CNN doxing us, and we don't need that in our lives.
Yeah, and you got fucking 26 days till 4 years of hell is behind me. So let's all just
let's all relax.
I might be able to start really letting loose in September. So let's be happy, folks.
That kind of scares me. and by the way, this dude that you're talking about, this Gray Owl guy, holy fuck.
He's the best. And there have been other guys. There's Forrest Carter. He was actually a Klansman who pretended to end up being I think either a black guy.
Well, that sounds like a great story.
Was he black or was he he was involved in the civil rights movement? I think he might ended up pretending to be he ended up pretending to be Native American too. There's Frank Collin, who in the 40s, he was part of the George Lincoln Rockwell's National Socialist White People Party, and they found out he was half Jewish. So, yeah. There is one common theme.
Did that go over well?
Not so much.
I did not see that coming.
I will say this, and I'll admit when we're at fault here. There's one common underlying theme in all of these, and it's that they're all white people.
I thought you were
going
to
have
say
an issue.
The common theme was
euthanize white people.
Get a waterproof bronzer.
We do have a tendency to either be completely full of shit or really mentally ill.
I would agree that the mentally ill aspect is something that is absolutely more prevalent in white people.
And we're pretty good at the whole fraud thing, too. I mean, when you think about white-collar crime, when you think about per capita, pound
they
for
even call
pound,
it white-collar.
Guys who steal money and never go to jail for it.
Right.
Yep.
Come on, man. We're leading the pack. I'm just saying. And then they figured out, wait, we could take over other people's movements, too.
It's even better.
I could take over the entire Black Lives Matter movement and make it all about me.
Guest in the chat room says, so as a white woman that was with a black man for 14 years, I know the culture, and I'm Italian, so I get really tan. Can I now identify as a black woman and get some scholarships and grants to make up for child support that I don't get from my black children's baby daddy? Well,
the answer is yes, because you're Italian.
Because you're Italian. I don't know if you remember the whole Moore speech Christopher Walken had.
Yeah.
But
Let
You'd
me
have to have that speech with someone at a government building, though. You have to actually walk in and do it.
That is
But
100%
I bet
true.
you if you did it, they'd probably give it to you.
They would
If you
have
just
to.
applied for it, no. But if you went in there and did the speech, I bet you someone in there would be like, I got you.
Okay, I got you, man. Come to the back. Come to the back.
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I'm
you're
Irish.
kidding.
I'm Irish, and we don't even consider Italians white people. Do you understand how low on the white people totem pole you have to be? Boppity boopy. Anyway, I guess should we do a break real quick?
Yeah, we could absolutely do a break.
Come back, 'cause
And,
we're gonna do
come
calls.
back. We'll do some calls when we come, we'll come right back.
954-573-2780. If you want to sound off with us. What are you gonna do, Jeff? You gonna hang out? You want to, or do we call him back?
Whatever you got. Whatever's easier.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hanging here for another hour.
Okay,
right,
cool.
We'll
Sounds
be
good.
back.
We'll be right back.
Cool.
All right. Well, we we'll be right back. You tell me, hey, let's do a break, and now I got to pull the song up.
Oh yeah, hey,
to go to break.
So, I thought it's the top of the hour here.
And I
What are
gotta
we doing?
go. I gotta go. Fucking.
You're running on
royalty-free music.
To be fair, we're running on a skeleton crew.
Because yeah, we are. Okay, we got music. We'll be right back,
Hey,
guys.
that was good, smooth transition.
See, I don't want too much, no. Just wanna move with you out on the floor. And try to get close enough. Well, see if both our feet make floor. Oh, come on. No, I don't want too much. But the way you look, I can't ignore. No. And try to get close enough. See if there is something more. Do you feel me? Closer to you.
I don't think we're gonna off Pop. You know, I mean, yeah, sure, the guy's got a little bit of a sordid past, absolutely, but you know, everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah, he was just following orders. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Let's not try and justify why a man would join the Nazis,
Right.
because that's going to get us too far away from the point that we're trying to make, which is that the man moved to America, you know, to put all that horrible shit behind him, and he wanted to turn his life around, and that's what he did, Frank. He turned his life around.
People do that.
People do that, exactly. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, God, you remember that car?
Yes.
Oh, look at those two little rugrats.
I was so cute.
Oh, man.
And look how sweet he is.
Yeah, God, he was a sweet guy. This is great.
That's the camp.
God,
we loved it there.
It's all flooding back to me now.
Did we wear those uniforms? I don't remember those. Do you?
I don't remember that, but yeah, see if there's sound. I'd like to pop some sound on. Oh yeah. Look at this guy. Remember this guy?
I totally remember that guy.
He was always so jazzed up about everything.
He was so excited, and he would get us all excited.
Get the whole crowd jazzed up, the whole camp.
Here we go.
Your schools. That is why it is so important that we all must unify. The more we come together, the stronger we become. Now listen close, kids. These goddamn niggers and Jews are trying to take over this country, and we've got to take it back.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I just took a turn.
Sig Heil! Sig Heil! Sig Heil!
Oh, that's us.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that. Oh, yeah.
Sig Heil! Sig Heil!
Okay, that settles it. Let's fry this turkey.
Why would we choose? Why would we choose that music? Why would we choose that rejoiner?
Because it's a really good Always Sunny episode. Why? What's wrong?
That made even me uncomfortable, and
It's
I'm
a
never
good
uncomfortable.
Always Sunny episode.
I understand that,
But this is
That's the
Mos-
path we're on.
This is Mos Def. This is a black guy.
But were people like looking at us on video while hearing that?
Like, I'm gonna say this: I'm Cuban, so I can't be a Nazi. So I'll have you know that for me, I'm fine. I mean, maybe for you guys it's weird, not for me.
Maybe for me that would have been bad.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So.
I get it, Mersh. If you're worried about me, don't. I'm fine.
I hate you so
If
much.
you were,
Oh, stop.
if you were,
I hate you so
Oh,
much.
come on.
Anyway, back with the second hour of Revenge of the Cis.
Because communism didn't kill anybody.
This is
hey,
this is a show where you get the perspective of the very rapidly declining straight Western male perspective.
we have to hide out in a cave.
Yeah, we're basically like the Proud Boys, except we're not faggots.
Oh yeah, we're not faggots at all.
Yeah.
Let's punch people. Let's punch people in the face.
Oh
Right,
my
shut
God,
up.
they're just the worst
Fucking
thing.
No
relax.
satanic butt lust here.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what's funny, man? I remember when Antifa started getting big, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it can't get any worse than this. just folks, don't tempt God ever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever see something like Antifa and go, thank God that right doesn't have anything that obnoxious. Because then they give you the Proud Boys.
Well, if you want to call in about the transracial thing that we are talking about, the number is 954-573.
Wait, can I do it in radio guy voice?
2780. Sure, go for it.
Top of the second hour there, 954-573-2780. If you want to join us, join in on the conversation there. Transracial stuff going on here on morelikeradio.com.
Can I be
553-2780 there.
Can I be Razor, the sports guy?
He just comes in, hey man, I'm so hungover.
You watched the big game
Last night was so tough, man. I was at Hooters. Of course you were. They're one of our sponsors.
You fucking asshole.
You're fucking shill.
War of the Roses coming up next.
Of course it is.
But the number is
954-573-2780 if you want to join another.
2780.
But yeah, so we've been talking about these people. So as we kind of got into at the end of that hour, it's not a new phenomenon, but it does seem to be a wholly white phenomenon.
Yes.
I don't see, you know what I mean? But
there's a fuzzy story about Johnny Otis. Johnny Otis was a rock and roll god, and he was from Greece, and he came over. He said he saw two Americas, a white America and a black America, and to assimilate, he had to pick one or the other because he was kind of in between. So he went black, and he did what Shaun White did. He thinned out his eyebrows and got the goatee going, and he ended up being like he's known for Willie and the hand jive, but he was just a phenomenal player. And his kid was Shuggy Otis.
And coming from a guy who dated a Greek girl, he picked black guy. Good choice. Good choice. I'm just saying.
Maybe that one would have been a little easier.
It's an easier sell. I'm just saying.
Than Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because honestly, my Greek ex, she looks kind of black. Like, she's white, but she has very meditative. Like, she's fucking hot, but she just has very, like, she looks like a light-skinned black girl. You know what I mean? She could have pulled that off a lot easier. Yeah, Greeks are a little swarthy.
Yeah, well.
But didn't you tell me this guy? Something happened. I guess something tragic happens to any rock and roll guy from the 1950s.
Yeah, I mean, usually don't get on a plane or.
Yeah, the 1950s rock and rollers were the 1980s wrestlers of their day. You're just dropping like flies.
No, I think Johnny was pretty solid all the way through.
Yeah, Johnny had a good run.
His kid.
He died in 2012. This cocksucker.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
he was a traveling show.
This son of a bitch. Fuck Johnny Otis.
His kid was asked to be in the Stones, and Shuggy turned him down.
Well, they're probably not.
Let's not lose our minds.
Yeah, I mean, they probably weren't. They probably weren't going anywhere.
It was in the 70s. It was when they were still good.
Wow. So that's So Johnny Otis.
It's a nice story.
But you see, so that actually brings to my point where does the lack of transracial black people and other races that are a little more obvious is the lack of it because they just can't do it? Like, you can't pull it off. Like, I don't think there's really a way to be a black guy and go like, I'm white. Like, I don't think they notice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you could be from Nairobi, Kenya, and come to America and go, yes, the first thing I do here is I join KKK. They don't even notice. I think that was more of a Haitian, actually. But I come to America, I hide in Alabama. KKK, they don't know. They're always wearing sheets, man. They don't even know.
Now he's Jamaican. Wow, your character was gone.
Yeah, he's
every ethnicity.
He's transracial.
Back to the topic.
That's great.
Oh,
the man Johnny Otis, he not even a black man. Him come here from Greece. Come here playing guitar. Sorry, I'm done now.
Well, you could do it.
I'm good.
You're transracial. You identify.
Can I do that? Can I just be transracial?
Of course you can.
The man identify as Jamaican now.
Yeah, that's fine. You can.
Bomba clot and what have you.
If we take the idea seriously, yes, then of course you can be transracial.
I'm going for it.
Well, my point is that
I'm going for it.
The thing is, I'm also a believer that is the day-to-day people that I speak to aren't the fringes, but the point is because of social media now, these small minorities do get a huge voice. You know what I mean? And I think that's big part of the issue.
Yeah, well, it's
very true.
It's money and it's power and it's
well, we're in a different excuse me, we're in a different epoch. We're like, there was hunting and gathering, there was agricultural, industrial, and now we're in an informational age.
Wait, Epoch was the little guy from DX, right?
Yes, he was.
He was the
No,
I remember.
I think it's a Street Fighter character.
He was the
actually,
6th member of the.
I think I'm
NWO.
mangling the word.
A lot of people don't know that.
But whatever the word is, this is a different era, and there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same shit that's been going on forever, but the internet has brought it all to the forefront. Our previous president said that as well. we still hate each other, but now we see it. And before we were a little more polite about it.
It's it's going to be weird when you see right-wing reactionaries using songs by Bob Dylan and Beatles.
Yeah,
that time is coming.
But that's happened throughout American history, and it's the parties have basically changed names. That's why when people say, "Oh, these are the old Democrats or Republicans," it's like, yeah, it's done that throughout the whole course.
Yeah, but we move like we move in eras that like normally used to take 200, 300 years.
True.
And we burn through them in this country. We're gonna have like 9 revolutions within the next like 100 years.
It's a very good point.
It just moves so quick.
I mean, just think of how recent Occupy Wall Street was. How big, quote unquote, that movement was. Now nobody remembers.
Well, they also didn't have a lucid ideology.
Well, obviously, yeah. We actually had somebody. Mersh and I did a show during that, and we actually had one of our.
That was one of the most fun shows.
One of our people.
That was one of the early ones.
Yeah, just a blanket, like, yeah, rich people.
One of our people was out there interviewing them and asking them, what are you here for, this and that, and then we tried to start a rumor that Coldplay was going to play.
Oh, that was.
And,
no, we actually got it going too. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't really care for Coldplay. And my favorite line was Mersh, like, you're not even going to stay for clocks?
I still remember that. That was probably.
There had to have been somebody that was just standing around waiting for them.
Well, yeah, we had.
Please tell me you got a photo of that. There has to be someone.
No, but Derek is. Derek used to work for XM. He was an intern there, and I think he's still at a laminate and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he went for us. It was awesome. Like he went there with his laminate and his phone, and
nice.
with us being on the air and talking to the people on the phone, it was very obvious they were on a show, and.
Right.
They really felt like, oh shit, and we're like, yeah, what's the deal with Coldplay? What time are they starting? And we just kept doing it with every caller, just to get that shitty false hope to them. Like, oh my God, Central Park tonight, let's get there, it's free.
Yeah, that's why like I mean, Trump is an insane thing, and it seems to have sped up history, and I'm already feeling nostalgic for like Rebecca Black's Friday, like that felt like a forever ago.
Wow,
but
yeah.
I believe that Jay-Z would have won as well as Trump. So I don't like this idea that the world is so hopelessly oppressive. 80% of show business is showing up, and fucking Trump showed up and Jay-Z didn't.
Yeah, and I think he has a point. It goes back to what people kept saying about the election. It's not Donald Trump didn't win. Hillary Clinton lost.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emphasis on they won't admit that she blew it. I could have ran for president. It could have been any option on the table. And it was that last minute, I'm about to pull this lever. And when you really think about Hillary Clinton as a person, you're like, ugh. Even her supporters are grossed out by her.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's nobody's, it's like, it's her.
I went to one of her rallies, and just the whole thing had this like eyes wide shut feeling of a passing of the baton, the inevitability. It's her time. And there was like a band there, and they were playing backwards Latin. That was a little weird.
And Jeff brought up a good point. I saw a New York Post article I told Royce about yesterday, and the headline was, Trump's presidency hasn't been as good as he's making it out to be, but it's certainly not half as bad as you people are making it out to be either. Yep. And that was like the headline. Like, you guys are being hysterical. He's actually not doing horrendously.
So much of the foreign policy is the same. Yeah.
But nothing's... Like you said, everybody was like, oh, my God, it's the death of democracy and Western civilization. No, it's business as usual, dude. He's not going to let they're going to kill Barron if he doesn't play ball. Everybody calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
We're still leaving Syria to Russia. It's what we were doing before. It's what we're doing now.
That's what we should have done.
I agree with that. 100%.
It's closer to them. You know what I mean? How would we feel if Russia was like, you know what, man, the way you're dealing with Guatemala right now, bro, if you don't stop, we're going to come in. We'd be like, go fuck yourself. This is our continent, cocksuckers. We would not take kindly to them going,
of course not.
Oh, yes, the Russians, we will be sending aircraft carriers to Panama. Like, we would be like, no, the fuck you're not. We're going to nuke the shit out of you. Don't ever do that. So, yeah, we culturally have a lot of balls on us. And this is why when people are like, oh, you're this white, privileged, imperialistic. No, trust me, dude, I am not a neocon, and I am not a man who enjoys seeing blown-up Muslim kids. Like, I would love to leave all those people alone. But we also did a lot of fist-fucking to those people, so we kind of owe them one. So we kind of need to negotiate a good deal and go like, look, You know, we'll go around here, just leave Israel alone, leave Saudi Arabia alone. We'll go back to our thing. Just calm the fuck down, everybody. But it's too late now.
Hey, Jeff, I might put you on hold 1 second. I'm getting call back in, but I'll put you right back on, okay? Yeah, we're getting calls. The Skype's being weird. Hey, hello, caller. Who's this?
Hello, this is Jared.
Hey, Jared. What's going on, dude?
Hey, Jared.
Nothing much. It's been a while. Well, it's been a bit, at least.
So what's going on, man? What do you want to talk about?
This motherfucker's on Skype or something.
Yeah,
I am on Skype.
Okay, I was gay. That sounds too good to be a phone.
Oh, no, never. Well, my point of view on this whole topic is that this whole thing with this political stuff and everything else that's really going on, and how people are just claiming different things, that they're a black person or even though they're white and everything like that. But the reason that I believe they do that is because they want to get their way. And someone said in the chat, Jared is high. I'm not high. That they want to get their own way,
Jared,
and that
maybe
they
you
want
should
to
get high.
basically they want to be respected, and they want to be respected, and they just.
All right, but here's my point. I'm going to ask you a question right now. So you're saying they're doing it to get to take advantage of certain privileges and opportunities and to get a certain status level. But how can you be a Sean King and argue that being black is this fucking horrible, horrendously oppressive garbage thing that nobody would choose to be, while completely denigrating people you're actually more genetically close to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you justify that? Like, you can't say I'm doing this for special privileges and also I fucking hate being black. Like, that to me is weird. Yeah, but you are correct in that subconsciously they're like, I'll get the scholarship. Like, you know what I mean? This place has to hire a black guy.
Yeah.
And my name is Sean King and I look white. They're going to still hire me.
Hey, thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you calling, bud.
All right.
Thanks, dude. Hey, Jeff. You back?
Radio.
Sorry about that. Skype's being stupid because, Microsoft owns it. It's a big conspiracy, man.
Yeah,
we had
to take a call from Jared. He had a really insightful, profound point.
Yeah. Anyway, someone in the chat says, get this guy a point.
Hey, look, the man, he was supporting the show. He calling in and stuff. Why don't you leave him alone, man?
Are you being Jamaican again? Oh, we're back to the transracial
That's
thing,
right,
aren't
I'm
we?
transracial. I'm from Port Royal. I still call it that, even though nobody does except 1,600 pirates. It's still Port Royal to me, damn it.
Stop it. I won't do this show with you anymore if you keep doing that voice. I just will stop. I'll leave.
You won't do life with me.
I
after
can't.
this.
I just fucking can't.
All right, sorry.
Everything Revenge of the Sis.
Revenge of the Seas, the second tower. Remember, Jamaica used to be a powerhouse in the Caribbean.
Are you okay? Now you've turned me around.
Billy Ocean say Caribbean is a fool.
I would like to hear a Jamaican conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would make me very happy.
What had happened was we refused the Jewish bankers. We told them get out of our country. So what happened was they moved everything to America. We should be America, man.
Jesus, I love Jamaican Alex Jones.
He should really be on InfoWars. Let's see if I should call. Oh,
that doesn't make you pro-Israel.
Can I call it? I should call into InfoWars one day as a Jamaican guy with my own conspiracies.
Oh, they let you on.
What are you doing to look into the killing of Jamaican children, man?
And you also have to give props to Super Male Vitality.
Somebody sold me cousin over to the Clinton Foundation. I haven't heard him since. The man, John Podesta, he called me, said he's going to make a payment. He never called me. He was going to trade me for some pieces of artwork. Him had some paintings I wanted to get my hands on. Tasteful photographs. I know he's Irish now. Tasteful photographs of naked boys.
Oh, fuck.
And that's where they're gonna go with it. That's where that's the whole push.
I love that Jeff has this equal level of disgust, but also rationality of this is where it's going. Gonna be a white Jamaican
Look at
guy soon.
look at CPS. Look at the Child Protective Services. They test parents' hair. That's an ideology that believes that the government is a better parent than their parents. It's insane. It's
To be
absolutely
fair-
insane. And I don't think it's a secret cabal. I think it's just a lot of people believing that this state and utopia is going to be better for the world than everything else. And Child Protective Services, there's nothing wrong with raising your hand and being like, these fucking emails are crazy, and is it connected to CPS? Because I think that's the connection that most people are missing with PC.
I have to give Dennis props in the chat for pointing out, what is this, Merged for Death? Steven Seagal reference always gets you cool points with me and my sister. So that's two Sheelys right there on your team right now.
Officer Steven Seagal, please make sure you mention his rank.
A lot of people don't know they put chemicals in the water, man. They're making the frogs gay.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I had a frog the other day. He hopped up on my patio. He tried to suck me dick. I said, get out of here. I said, get out of here, body boy.
Mo is right from The Simpsons, man. The fucking Diet Coke is going to make you gay. We don't know what's happening with all this fucking corn syrup.
What if it's Diet Coke and the only reason why I am now somewhat normal by today's standards is just because I've been consciously unhealthy my whole life? Like, oh man, you should try all these anti-anxiety drugs. Now I'll just self-medicate with opiates, cocaine, and drugs. They've been around forever. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm a mess, but everybody else is like, oh my God, I'm growing breasts and I cry every day. And I'm like, fucking faggot.
Yeah.
I just used to do opiates and I got to fucking shake them off for a few days and sweat it out. Fucking baby.
Yeah, they call that Taylor Swifting.
Bunch of goddamn babies. Now I'm starting to think all these people in the 20s that did like the laudanum every time they were in pain and they were just smoking opium and like they had it right, man.
Yeah.
They teach their own kids shit. Their kids used to be able to fucking hand repair a Model T and read.
And now they fucking break down into tears if they get a flat tire because they don't know how to change it.
I will say this. In our modern society, if we were to allow more individualism, homeschooling, gun awareness, militias, like more of smaller, micro, mini governments like the way it was supposed to be in this country, there would be much more like reportable death. Like there would be these random like people getting shot in the face and just dumb shit that would happen. But our world and our country wouldn't be any more tragic or horrendous or scary. Like it would probably be slightly better because the people in it would be stronger and better and more self-reliant. So they're trying to take that away. When you leave the government in charge of, we'll fix everything, then that leaves one guy to fix everything. And those people are idiots.
And how do they how do they figure out like what is good and when is it at the level of good? Yeah. And they're talking about unconscious bias, like unconscious bias training. That's insane. A company comes in and wants to fuck with your unconscious. It's in the words. It's
right.
This isn't conspiracy. It's in the words. And there's no way to judge whether it's a novelty response or a negative response.
I want to point something out. The caller that called in before Mer, she's 14.
Oh, I like Jared.
No. My point is that there's a reason I'm saying that. There was an article I read, and I'm sure you read it too, where the next generation that's coming up is going to be way more conservative than the generation before it.
Their generation woke. Like they're legit. Like they're,
and that's why I'm bringing it up. Like
Jared's my guy.
Yeah,
I like Jared.
They kind of know what's. The problem is
Jared. If you hear me right now, I just want to tell you that it's legitimately, and I'm not, this isn't a joke, it's people like you that actually make me not want to kill myself. Like I have a little bit of hope that there's this, like we discussed earlier, where like there's this self-policing thing we do socially where we react and we keep balance. And it's going to be kids like Jared. I'm not saying he's like even a right winger, but he's obviously 14 and gives a shit about this stuff.
Yes, he does.
Which is already way ahead of, and he's not going, you guys are fucking xenophobic. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. When I was 14, I didn't give a shit about this stuff. So he's ahead of the curve, in my opinion.
If we can raise a generation of Jareds that sit at the table with different opinions and go, well, I just think that maybe they're doing this for this. And you'll go, wow, Jesus Christ, maybe you'll figure some shit out. because our generation ain't gonna do it.
And I would
we're too
When I
busy
first
screaming at each other.
When I first heard of the term safe space, I actually thought it was referring to like
BDSM.
Well, that too.
I thought it. I thought it was a BDSM
but after
thing.
that, after I did a porn search for it, I thought, well, if it's happening at colleges, then maybe it's like a white person in a more urban setting that they haven't been before, and they get to talk and ask questions. I had no idea that it was this thing that they were trying to protect the world, and the world is it must be kept outside. It's like I thought we got over that with fairy tales. Like the world is a scary place.
I just picture poor Jeff was horny and he went on Pornhub and he typed in safe space, and all that
I
came
was
up
more
was
liberal then.
one video of like a fat Asian girl yelling at Milo Yiannopoulos. And Jeff's like, "This, you know what? This isn't what I was looking for, but I'm still gonna jerk off to it." Nothing else going on.
Someone talks to me about a safe space. I'm like, oh, I know, it's so hot.
No, I legitimately at one point thought that a safe space, and because I like to just be imaginary and just dream things up in my head and go with it. And I really thought that a safe space was like a BDSM thing where I thought it was like I thought it was like a room you would go into after it where you like cry and take a shit, piss and cry or whatever, like whatever you do after BDSM. Like I would think after a good beating, like a good vicious ball stomping session, you'd probably want to go cry.
The first thing you do
and
after
pee.
BDSM is throw away the tarp. I mean, that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
And then you move on
I
to
got you. The pee pads.
Right.
It's an institution of higher learning. It kills me. I couldn't comprehend what a safe space was. I thought it was a room where maybe like some young black people and young white people could just ask each other some fucking questions, and if they said something that was a little offensive, who gives a shit? It was a safe space. That's what I thought it was because it's academic.
Right.
But I was talking to this professor and
A bunch of guys, but there's just a line around the block of white guys, and they all have one question.
Yeah, I know.
Why can't I say? All right, never mind. I'm gonna go.
Think about it. I think it's kind of a good idea.
I'm gonna leave it on the next guy to ask.
But the colleges right now are they're
horrendous.
I mean, obviously this is
They're not producing any useful people at all.
This is anecdotal, but these professors are dealing with people that are doing middle school tier bullshit, like looking at their phone, passing notes. It's like you're in college. This is where you get to go learn and like actually be an adult and figure yourself out and try on different philosophies and fucking God. There's no space safer than a college. Like this idea that the world is so horrible and terrible, it's just awful.
Also, this fresh breaking news coming in right now. Tampa Bay comedian Jeff Ray has been identified as a member of the alt-right movement.
Congratulations.
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Congratulations,
Now identified him as a neo-Nazi.
Congratulations.
Good job,
Great.
buddy.
Hope you're happy.
It's that easy.
That's all you got.
And now I'm on the wrong side, and now I'm to the gulag. There's no dialogue. There's no
fucking fascist.
And I think that's the worst. I think that's the worst part. Like I would say that in my lifetime, I've always had friends that have been either fucking very borderline neo-Nazis or on the other end really close to like just crazy SJWs, and I've always maintained an okay relationship with them. But this is the first time I've seen a clear line drawn in the sand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least if you look at social media. I don't know the real world if that's what's happening, but on social media, you see a clear line in the sand where it's either you're for us or you're against us. Period. Like I made a funny. I try to make fun of Sean King, and it had nothing to do with anything like. Just making fun of like, hey, you're just basically a white dude, whatever. And the first thing, everyone defending him is like, you're fucking Nazi, you're the cracker, you're the fucking idiot. I'm like, all right, whatever, forget it. I won't have an opinion.
What I find funny is that, and I hate to say it in this way because there's always this corny people. I'm not racist. I hate everyone. Yeah, you're so cool. You're such an edgelord.
That's awful.
But in that same vein, I'm not racist, but I have always been highly critical of everyone. Myself, no, and I'm being honest. Myself,
true, very
including
true.
myself,
Neurotic, negative emotion. Yeah.
people around me, groups, any groupings, and anybody who knows me knows well. I don't like groups of 5 or more people. I don't like it. I don't like when 5 or more people agree and they're in a room because you're already plotting shit. Whoever you are, good or bad guy, but I don't like that. So it's just now to get called racist when you're critical of something, or you get called a fucking homophobe. because you're critical. You can't be critical of the gay community.
Well,
you can't be critical of the black community. We all have shortcomings, and some of them are predominantly overwhelmingly present in certain communities than other. You know what I mean?
Well, in many,
black guys
in many
have
ways,
a way big issue with dads not being around. Gay people have a bigger issue with, you know, diseases and stuff. It's a real thing that they need to discuss.
In many ways, when you know, going back to the very first thing you said, in many ways, when they call you, you know, immediately call you a Nazi or racist or anything, you devalue that word to now where you see people, and I'm talking about not like us, but people, kids like Jared.
You're
now,
equating me to people who gassed Jewish people retards
and in a couple ways
for no reason.
In reality, though, you're first off, you're devaluing what actual Nazis did. And secondly, the insult becomes meaningless, and it's like, not like I said, now you have kids like you're like, yeah, fine, I'm a Nazi, whatever, I don't fucking care, call me whatever you want, but I'm gonna say what I want to say. You know what I mean? It's this, and again, the fact that people don't see it, it's this same exact thing where back in the day it was like, hey man, peace and love. Ah, you're a fucking hippie, shut up. All right, fine, I'm a hippie, but this is what I believe. And that's what you're doing. You're making these insults meaningless. You're making a mean, it doesn't matter. You call me what you want. Fine, I'm an alt-right. Fine, I'm this. Fine, I'm that. You want to label me. And the ironic part is the people that don't want you to label everything are the ones that are completely and immediately labeling you to silence you. And that's what bothers me. The hypocrisy and the actual fact that we can't have an open discussion if we disagree with something. And at the end of it go, you know what? I don't agree with you. But you know what? I'm glad I talked to you. Maybe I'm going to think about it and then move on and be happy. That we have to immediately villainize someone, go after their job, which we see all the time.
That's really gross. Yeah,
you know, and that's
been
the
a problem for years, and it's known for a while that, like, I used to hate seeing people, even people I hate who I despise, when you start going after their livelihoods and shit. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I
grow
agree.
The fuck up, because there are so many people I really despise, but I still would never wish to see that. You know, it's very immature and dark to carry in your 30s that desire to see people who you don't like doing horrendously. You know? You just like, it's like, dude, just fuck off, stay out of my life. But goddamn,
going back to what you said at the beginning of the show, the John McCain thing. How many people are cheering about this guy having cancer? To me, is fucking, it blows my mind.
It's gross. Yeah,
I basically,
it blows my mind.
I opened the show pointing out that I felt terrible that I made such an on-the-nose joke about him having a brain tumor, and he has a brain tumor, and now I'm like, wow, I felt like a dick.
You know, and it's
that's just
or
synergy.
a prophet.
Yeah, but you know,
ding 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 ding,
and it's this visceral. Just visceral hate.
Yeah, everybody's like, ha ha, McCain. Yeah, man, looks like the ultimate term limit of brain tumor. Like, dude, the guy's a family. He's
and
got
a war hero, whether you like him or not.
Yes, and a war hero. Now, did he cash in all that war hero fucking currency?
Sure, you could argue that.
Absolutely. But the point is, he's still, you know, like, there's certain things. It's like the dude is Jeff said that earlier too. Where culturally, we've just got this, like, we used to have that layer of, like, this is corny, but like, we'd respectfully go to stuff and be like, all right, take your hat off. Like, we'll make fun of this shit later. But it's like, you know, there is a fine line between this degenerate left-wing Marxism, fuck America, white man shit, and this Midwestern hokey, and I'm proud to be an American. Like, there has to be, there's certain times where it's fun to be full NASCAR retard, Kid Rock, and hold your hand over your heart. And then there's other moments where you could be like, fuck the police.
But these are the
like,
same people.
You can do both. You don't have to subscribe to one thing.
Going to the McCain thing, these are the same people that, keep in mind, when the idiots of the Westboro Baptist Church are like, are protesting a funeral. You know, it's like, how can you do that? That's disgusting. Oh my God. But then you have the same people, the same exact people going, McCain has a brain tumor. Fuck him. He deserves it. That's what happened to all Republicans. And I'm not exaggerating. But go on Twitter.
Yeah. But meanwhile, if something happened to anybody in the Trump administration, and somebody was like, Steve Bannon's got a brain tumor, they'd be like, the man is sick and has a family. Get a hold of yourself. Have some decency. It's this hypocrisy on both sides all the time.
I will agree 100%.
You know, like
It is
even
on both
Obama,
sides.
Obama, who I've always disagreed with just about everything he did, and I hate liberals, and I don't like the whole Chicago politician, black guy thing, whatever. But I've never ever been
The
like
hot dog orders.
the hot dog, yeah, whatever.
He really likes hot dogs.
The thing is, Obama was as corrupt as any of the other guys that were in his office, no more, no less. So he didn't bug me in this. You can't have this profound, gross hatred of somebody and just keep trying,
And not hate yourself.
Yeah, maintain some decorum. I never made fun of Obama's daughters, and if somebody said right now, "Did you hear? Barack Obama's been diagnosed with brain cancer," I would actually take a minute in the seat it was just told to me at, sit there and for 2 minutes because you're a shit person. Don't give me this. It's jingoistic imperialism. No, you take a minute and you go, "Wow, that was our president." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not a fucking human
And life is
being.
frail. Life has
Yes, that's what I mean. It's W, who we all universally revile, that idiot making his fucking paintings, his fucking dumb retard paintings.
Michael Jackson.
Hey,
Michael
man.
Jackson was rightfully reviled and just this made fun of right up until the end. Even when he was doing a comeback, comics were like, that's... But as soon as he died, everybody remembered that, we all kind of liked him at one point.
Dude,
because it reminds you of your own vulnerability.
Fucking 43, right? Okay. The guy fucking led us into countless, costly, ridiculous, fucking civilization-changing wars.
That we're still paying for.
He's killed
Yeah.
thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And his idea of making it up to the world and getting karma back is to paint watercolors
And to the war
for the
heroes.
kids who lost their legs fighting in his dumb Halliburton wars, okay? If George W. Bush got a brain tumor tomorrow, you're an inhuman piece of shit if you don't take 2 minutes out of your day and go, wow. Like Jeff said, that's frail, frailty of life, man. It could happen to anybody. Respect. You just go fuck yourselves, all of you.
Yeah, and again, when I see that, it makes, in many ways, and I don't know how you guys feel, but it makes anything that else that comes out of their mouth completely invalid, because it's like if this is how shallow you are, you can't then have the moral high ground when it comes to healthcare. You can't have the moral high ground when it comes to fucking drugs. You can't have the moral high ground on anything if when you legitimately and not there's one thing I'm making a joke, but when you legitimately wish death on your opponent.
Yeah.
Politically.
The irony, most of the people that laughed about McCain's brain tumor
Yeah.
are supposedly pro-life.
Oh, that's a very good point.
So go fuck yourselves, you pieces of garbage. I hate my own team just as much as I hate the left.
Well, yeah, because
they're fucking gross. You're all gross.
Would you say, and I think another good show topic that we should definitely hit up another time is, I think there needs to be some sort of relabeling, because the old school party stuff, that names that we're still using to group people,
we starting a new group,
is not. Well, I'm thinking we bring back the wigs.
I like the wigs.
Hey,
dude.
no one's doing wigs, dude.
I was reading about the wigs a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I remember the wigs. Yeah, we could do that.
We bring the wigs
I
back.
remember the wigs.
But we do the new wig party.
The new wig party, bro.
Or what if we do one of those? We start a political party that has just a lot of words that sound positive, but you have no idea what our ideology is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this, you could always do like this. We're gonna be the traditionalist American families with beautiful children party of America, and you're like, that sounds awesome. And you're like, what's your main platform? Kill all the Guatemalans. And you're like, what?
I love it.
That's so random. Yeah, that's our platform, though.
I believe, though, it's about time.
We feel like if we kill all the Guatemalans, then we and the Mexicans can live in coexistence and peace. It's the Guatemalans that are stealing both of our jobs.
It's always the other.
Agreed.
Pass the buck, baby.
It's never the individual. It's never examine your own behavior. It's always the other.
But
well, the old saying goes, the grass is always the victim, right?
But listen, since we're going to get an alliance with the Mexicans here and all this stuff's going to die down, we can push the wall further south, everybody's going to win on this, Jeff. So I need you to be kind of like Dr. Manhattan on this. I know you know the insidiousness of the plan, but you can't tell everybody. Just let us get this peace treaty with the Mexicans. We'll shift all the misery onto the Guatemalans. Boom, done.
I like that.
Everything's fixed.
Bro, Wig Party 2020. I'm all
Guess
in.
who's paying for the wall now? Guatemala, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Guatemala, if you ask me.
Heel turn.
It's about time to wrap up, though.
I'm sorry to all of our Guatemalan listeners.
Which
Thank you.
ones?
I just assumed, dude. There's a lot of Guatemala. I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm sure there's one listening.
It is time to wrap up. Guys, thank you for listening to Revenge
Thank
of the
you
Sith.
so much. Thank you to
really
Jeff
appreciate
Ray.
you guys
Please
having me on the show.
do you want to say or plug things?
Yeah, do you want to plug anything,
Yeah,
Jeff?
actually, I do. Most of what I've been saying is regurgitating Jordan B. Peterson, who I've been trying to get merch into.
I love him. I love him.
He's. Those are my dogs. That's POTUS and Gitmo, by the
they
way.
agree
say
with
hi.
Jordan B.
But it's just a good philosophy and way of viewing the world, and I think that's really important to have a structure to view the world, and it's okay if it disagrees. You know,
Okay,
if it's
Jeff, that's plugging somebody else's shit. Do you? How do people get to
No,
you?
I don't. You know,
How
honestly,
do people
I
get to
go
Jeff
check them
Ray?
They can in August. There's going to be every Tuesday at Double Decker, starting at 7 to 9. There's an open mic, so come see me there.
That's in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa,
For
Florida.
Tampa,
this is
Florida. Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah, there you go.
Ybor City.
All right, and it's.
There's other people out
what's
there.
your Twitter?
Other people are listening to this.
What's your Twitter?
My Twitter with no tweets on it is at Dr. Dichotomy. That's Dr. Dichotomy.
Google
one
it.
word.
You'll figure it out.
Google it, retards.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening.
Gunsfortards.com. You want to check that out too.
We're out of here, guys.